Hello and welcome to a very special edition of our From the Helm series at the Resources Rising Stars Conference. My name is Grady Wulff and I'm excited to be joined by Managing Director and CEO of Pilbara Minerals, Dale Henderson. Now, you'll notice Dale is actually not next to me. He's in Barcelona right now for another conference, but very lucky to be joined by Dale to give us an insight into Pilbara Minerals. Now, we'll dive straight into the questions, Dale. On the back of some Morgan Stanley reports recently, there's a lot of headlines out there saying that the bottom of lithium is now, after 5 tough months of sell-offs and a lot of news and noise in the markets. How does this impact Pilbara Minerals and what's the outlook moving forward?
Sure, thanks, Grady, and hello, everyone. As to the inflection and pricing, the view we've taken at Pilbara has always been the long game. The world needs a lot of lithium. We believe there's a structural deficit for lithium. So we've sort of maintained our plan of foot down and expanding as rapidly as we can. Obviously, in the recent past, yes, there's been a pullback, particularly in China. It did look fairly severe, and it did look like an inflection was going to come. And you're not surprised to see an improvement in pricing. The big question is, where does it go from here? But a lot of the signs look pretty positive in the outlook. So we'll see how we go.
I think investor optimism is very strong at the moment for lithium, and lithium is the word of 2023. It's come back to be the word of the year again. So it's a very good thing for lots of companies, especially Pilbara Minerals. Now, you introduced an interim dividend of 11 cents per share following a record first half results and operating performance of $1.2 billion in net profit. How important was it to include an interim dividend for your investors?
Yeah, we thought it was. It wasn't necessary, but we thought it was a great thing to do to reward shareholders, but many of which have been supporting the company for many years through the tough times. So, given the option of waiting to the end of the financial year or doing an interim dividend, we thought, no, let's get an interim dividend out. And delighted to do that. Our first inaugural dividend, and a real sign of the business maturing into this ASX 50 company that we have today.
Absolutely. I know a lot of people at my work were happy about the dividend being paid. Now, we are seeing a number of miners explore downstream options. Can you talk us through what downstream options PLS is exploring and the difference in margins between downstream and obviously the exploration and actual mining of lithium?
Sure. So we have one downstream joint venture thus far with POSCO. We are jointly developing a 43,000 tonne lithium hydroxide plant in South Korea. And that joint venture will take about 300,000 tonnes of our production profile. And that's of 300,000 of our full million tonne production profile once we're fully expanded. Where to from here for more downstream? We're actually kicking off a process to look at more partnerships, and we are considering the globe as it relates to those partnerships. Absolutely, we're considering our existing partners and the likes of POSCO. Of course, we're progressing those discussions, but we are looking broadly both in locations and counterparties. As to the question of margin, we've always had the view that the right downstream opportunity will yield additional margin for our shareholders. And the way we think about it is the more you can be involved in those value-adding steps, the more opportunity there is to realise more margin for our shareholders. But ultimately, it'll boil down to a competent operation which is at a low cost base that achieves the right product specs, such that the right price premium can be realised for that product. So all that to come. We think we have that with POSCO, and we'll be looking to achieve that whomever we partner with in the future.
Now, there has been reports recently, and Chile has introduced it, that they're going to take a majority stake in all lithium projects in the region of Chile. How does this impact local producers in Australia? Does it kind of shine a light and increase demand for our lithium down under?
The short answer is it's positive for the Australian producers, and we think it probably equals more demand for Australian product. those changes create uncertainty for those operations and customers and investors. And I appreciate that these changes, they're trying to roll them out smoothly, but the bottom line is that it does introduce a level of uncertainty. And in contrast, Australia remains this safe, stable domicile and a great business partner to work with for the long term. So we think it's good news for Australia and good news for Pilbara.
And Argentina, there are talks Argentina might do exactly the same thing, and Argentina is quite a big area for lithium. Does that further enhance the demand for Australian products?
Well, yeah, sort of rowing my Pilbara boat, the more disruption that can happen from other domiciles, whether that's Argentina or otherwise, is frankly good for us. I don't wish that upon any entity or country, but look, Australia is just a fantastic business partner for raw material supply and the conversion of raw materials. So, look, I think we're well placed. Australia already has a dominant position with regards to raw material supply, and I think that's set to expand in the years to come. So, great place to be.
Absolutely. And what does the next 12 months look like for Pilbara Minerals?
Yeah, incredibly busy.
We can tell.
We are flat out growing as rapidly as we can. We're at a 580,000 tonne run rate. The board has approved our 2 legs of expansion. They're in different states of construction or design right now. And fast forward to sort of 18 months, it's hard to believe we'll be essentially, double the size we are today. And if you consider those strong returns that you mentioned earlier, imagine if we're producing twice the volume, and imagine if it's still a very strong pricing environment. Pilbara is incredibly well placed. So, next 12 months, very, very busy as we look to capitalise on this incredible opportunity that we have.
And for investors who aren't in Pilbara Minerals, what would be the reason that you say for them to buy in or consider investing in Pilbara Minerals?
Well, if you believe in the lithium outlook, there's no other place to look. Pilbara's tier 1 asset and a tier 1 domicile. We've got an operating platform shooting the lights out. We're already 8% of the global lithium supply as estimated by Benchmark for this year, and we're doubling from this point, plus doing further value-add initiatives, downstream partnerships and the like. So best business, best industry at the best time. Hashtag PLS.
We love it, and we love the story behind it. Thanks so much, Dale Henderson, for joining us today and From the Helm. I hope you enjoyed that episode as much as we did talking to Dale.